Hello, my snarky sweethearts. We're checking in on r/MaliciousCompliance, where yes, sir means watch this. Let's dive into the first one. Several years ago, a friend, Mark, started a home-based computer software business. He and his wife lived in their home for about 10 years and had a well-established home phone number. This was around the time that cell phones were just beginning to be popular, so 95% of people still used mainly landlines. Mark worked 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., the same shift as his wife, so his customers could be free to discuss their computer needs uninterrupted after their own businesses closed for the day. Most computer maintenance still had to be done in person instead of remotely, so customers could drop off devices after work and pick them up from Mark's back porch on their way to work the next day. All went swimmingly for a few months until a new doctor opened up a practice in town, complete with a telephone number differing from Mark's by 1 digit. Mark's number had a 3, where the medical office had an 8 in the last 4-number combination. Misdialing was frequent. At first, there were occasional calls to which Mark would patiently redirect the caller. As time wore on and the practice got more and more referrals from local hospitals to give Dr. New in town an established client base, the calls began to come at all hours, 24 hours a day, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it. The office still got calls after hours to an answering service for patients to find out who was on call, and for the hospital staff to reach doctors after hours. Mark had to unplug the phone just to have a conversation over lunch with his wife, and in order to sleep. Also, not ideal when you have 3 daughters of dating age out after dark. Mark called the doctor's office and asked them to please change their phone number so he and his family could get some peace and quiet, and so he could build his own business to support them. Since he had his phone longer, he felt the doctor should be gracious and change his number to a different one to stop the confusion. He was told in about so many words by the doctor that it was too bad, but nothing was going to be done, as advertising, stationery, business cards, and signage were expensive to redo. Not to mention convey the new information to all his patients, medical registries, the medical board, and societies and hospitals. Just do the best you can. I'm sure the calls will stop soon. Good luck to you. Okie dokie, I'll do my best to take care of things, Mark cheerfully replied. After that, Mark began to field all the calls that came in personally. You've had the sniffles all morning after working in the yard around pollen? You'd better come right in. You start coughing every time you smoke a cigarette? Come on in. I'm not the doctor, but a temperature of 98.9 sounds a little high to me. We'll see you right after lunch today. You're new in town and have kids who need physicals and shots for school next week? It just so happens we have an opening in an hour. No, don't worry. We can take all 5 of them at once, today. Whatever the problem was, he started making appointments for each and every person calling. All were delighted to have such personal attention and prompt appointments. Sure, we take all insurance plans. Come right in. He also made routine checkup type appointments for 4:30 p.m. one Friday afternoon for 6 different people. Bright and early the next Monday morning, Dr. New in town called and begged him to stop. Mark said, I will if you will. The doctor had a new phone number before the end of the week. Oh, this is delicious. You know what this is? This is sweet, creamy, malicious compliance. Slow brewed with a twist of spite and served ice cold. Just like all those late night phone calls Mark had to endure. And let's talk about that doctor for a second. He's the one who picked a number 1 digit off from an existing business, refused to change it, knew people were misdialing, and still shrugged it off like, not my problem. Okay, but if it's not your problem, don't be surprised when it becomes your problem. I love how Mark didn't raise his voice or throw a fit. Honestly, I would have lost my mind. He kept it polite, gave the doc a heads up, and when the doc just shrugged, oh no, that's villain origin story material right there. Then boom, full receptionist mode. Sniffles, come on in. 5 kids need physicals? Bring the whole squad. He didn't just flip the script, he rewrote the play and starred as the front desk MVP, chef's kiss. Honestly, 10 out of 10 execution. That's how you do malicious compliance. And if you think that Lego raid was savage, you don't want to miss how a barista weaponized politeness to drive a Karen insane. So, a couple weeks ago, my boss gave me a talking to. For reference, I work at a very small, independent neighborhood coffee shop. I know most of the regulars by order, and the newbies I can generally give a good time to. This particular customer, regular though she is absolutely garbage. Rude, entitled, belittling, disrespectful, you name it. Usually I try to give minimal interaction, but one day I apparently didn't do things just right. So I get to work one day and the boss tells me he's gotten a complaint. Now, I've been there for almost 13 years, and aside from the growing pains of starting what is the equivalent of a coffee shop version of a dive bar, I have had complaints that I can count on one hand. Anyway, he goes on to tell me that a customer has complained that I've been rude/dismissive, etc. I say, okay, I will definitely be mindful of things with this customer moving forward. Cue malicious compliance. Every single time I have seen her since, she gets the absolute over-the-top Stepford Barista treatment. Think June Cleaver ratcheted up to 13. Just pouring on the Midwestern Nice like a thick saccharine syrup. I've been doing this for at least 2, maybe 2.5 weeks, and believe me when I say that it drives me absolutely out of my mind to do it. It takes so much energy to treat this human this way. Except today. Today I gave her the exact same treatment as I have been, except today she made a crucial error. She let it slip that the way I talk to her is irritating. When I tell you I haven't had such a rush of happy brain chemicals in almost a decade, it's not a lie. And now that I know it annoys her, it'll keep happening, because now it's not going to take excess energy to do it. Now it's fueled by spite. Oh, I felt that last line in my tail. Now it's fueled by spite? Chef's kiss. That's the kind of passive-aggressive artistry I live for. But seriously, I don't get it. If this woman hates the vibe so much, why does she keep coming back? Some people aren't happy unless they're unhappy, and they want to take everyone else down with them. I've worked customer service before. I've had to smile at people who made me want to yeet myself into the espresso machine. So I deeply respect this level of malicious sweetness. Midwestern Nice turned into a weapon, iconic. And now that you know it grinds her gears, oh, that's free fuel for eternity. What about you, Snarks? Ever killed someone with kindness on purpose? Drop your favorite customer service comeback in the comments. I'm ready for the tea. And speaking of petty but perfect, the next story proves you don't have to raise your voice to get your point across. Sometimes all it takes is a laundry basket. My sister is always taking my stuff. Clothes, shoes, whatever. Sometimes she asks, sometimes I just find out when I see her wearing it. One day, she comes in and says, "Mom said you have to let me borrow your clothes." Not even asking, just saying it like it's a rule now. I didn't argue. I just grabbed my laundry basket and gave it to her. It was full of dirty clothes, like actual laundry. Gym shirts, socks, stuff that had been sitting there all week. She looked at it and goes, "Seriously?" I said, "You wanted my clothes." She left without saying anything else. Hasn't touched my stuff since.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Peak sibling pettiness, and I love it. I'd say this one's a win for laundry justice. What about you, Snarks? Ever had someone else's mess dumped in your lap? Or turned a petty problem into a perfect plan? Drop your tales in the comments. I'm ready for the tea.
And that wraps up today's perfectly legal chaos on r/MaliciousCompliance.
If those cold, calculated comebacks hit the spot, give that thumbs up button a lil love. Got opinions? I know you do. Drop them in the comments. I read everything, even the spicy ones. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another snarky saga. I'll see you in the next one. It's gonna be wild. Bye!